Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today is day 65 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. Today we are going to be altering some playing cards. I have some vintage or older Northwest Airlines playing cards, and so you can see that the backs of them just have advertising on them, but the fronts are just regular, playing cards. So we're going to be altering some of these today. So grab some playing cards and let's get started. So these will be embellished. I just have a tray of all different kinds of little embellishments. I've kind of sorted them from large, medium, and small over here, so we'll maybe use some of those. I've got some words from Tim Holtz, little clipping stickers, some postage stamps, and we may not use any of that, but it is here if I need to use it. And then I want to talk about covering the playing cards and kind of getting them started. And so I've got a couple things. I'm going to back these where it's, got the advertising on it. So if your cards have a back that you don't like, that's where I'm going to cover them with copy dyed paper so that it is a journaling card when we're done. So that's the plan for the back where this advertising is just covering with copy dyed paper. But I do want to alter the front of these as well and turn them into something that looks a lot less new and shiny, because playing cards usually have like a glossy finish on it. So we're going to take away that. All right, so there's the copy dyed paper for when we need it. I got a couple of things to kind of tone things down. This is a sheet of tissue paper, and this is just a craft color vintage looking tissue paper. You can find this online. I will look and see if there is one on Amazon that I can link for you guys. But this is just regular tissue paper. A white tissue paper will also tone this down. I have some scraps and a roll of music paper. We could add some of that just to kind of go over some of it. Always I have book page and music paper and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and give some of this tissue paper a try first. And I'm just going to tear myself a little section of it and then get it up out of the way. We're going to need to cover our work surface today because we're going to be gluing a lot. I just picked this one randomly. Let's get started. And so I'm going to cover the backs with coffee dyed paper. Probably at the end when we've got our decoration done. So I'm just going to add some glue where I want that tissue paper to stick down. And I'm just going to add it randomly in a section. And I'm going to take this tissue paper and kind of align it with my glue there. You saw how I kind of matched the tissue paper torn edge to where I have my glue already. And so there's that one. And I'm just going to try, now it's still wet, but I'm just going to try to tear around that one. And if I tear a little section off like that, all the better. So that's good. I'll cut the rest of this. It's not tearing well, so I'll cut the rest of that here in just a second. Let's give that one a chance to dry. These are just random cards at the moment, so I'm just doing whatever card comes up to the front of the deck. And so there's that one. And so any place that I didn't get glue, that tissue paper will eventually rub off. And so I'm not too worried about it. And so there's another one. Those are good starts to cards. So let's move on and try some of this music paper here. And so same thing. I'm just gonna, I got a couple of them. I'm just gonna add some glue, and I've been doing all the same side. So now I'm gonna come over here to this side and kind of go like that. This is piano roll paper. I do have rolls of it if anyone is looking for it. You guys just got to remind me during the live sale to ask for the rolls of the music paper. It's antique clear piano paper. And I do have many boxes and rolls of it. So there's that one on there. We've got this card next. Let's kind of do the top section of this one. Now, the player piano paper, you're not going to see through it, but it does have an interesting texture. So we're going to get that on at an angle this time. And then, of course, we're going to do book page. And I know I'm prepping a lot, but, that's what we got to do. It's a mass make, and we're prepping and we're playing. And so I'm just going to add a bunch of bases, and then we will start decorating. For decorating, you're going to decorate these just like any other journal card. I have some graph paper. This is included in your kits for the month of March, actually. So I'm just going to add a little piece of that. Any type of paper will work for this project. Don't stress about it. Let me grab some book page here. There's got to be some book page and music page here somewhere. This is very tiny little print. That will work great too. So let's do a couple of those. Right now we're just getting that base layer on. And these cards, like I said, they're shiny, they're slick, and so we're just, you know, getting something down there to cover some of that up. I don't care that my music is upside down. To me, when it has lyrics with the music, I actually prefer it to be, you know, upside down or a little bit harder to read. I feel like the harder it is to read, the less likely someone will find a word or a saying or something that they don't like or offends them or whatever. So is this one page? It's a very thick page. Let's kind of tear that and get some. I don't want that straight edge up there, so we're going to get that like that. Good. I'm going to glue up there a little bit. Good, good. Okay, so we've got a couple, you know, different ways here that we can look at finishing off. So the easiest thing to do from here is to just trim all your excess off. I can pause the video quick and get all this excess trimmed off, but you can see I'm just taking scissors and trimming off all the little excess. I'm going to do that quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have cut off all the excess paper, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take one of these distress sanding discs. They go on your ink blender, so you normally have the ink blender on there. Just pull the ink blending foam off, and then this little sanding disc velcros to your little disc or your little dauber here. They're called distress sanding discs. I will link them in the description box below the video. These are great to have for many, many projects. They're basically sandpaper that is the perfect size and the perfect grit to work with. So because these cards are still shiny, right? We didn't cover up everything. They're still shiny there on the surface. You can see the shine. We're going to sand them. And so I'm just going to pick these quickly up and move them off to the side. And what we're going to do is we're just going to sand them lightly. You can sand the edges, and you're just going to sand them lightly around the edge. That actually pulls off any excess paper that is on your edge. And then you're going to go up in here over the part that is shiny and just give that a quick little sand. This little piece of paper right here, it's loose. It needs to come off. You just sand it. Just sand any loose little bits off. See how it just takes them right off like that? And you're scuffing up your card and you're taking off some of that shine. You don't want to take off all your design, but just scuff it up a little bit, okay? So from there, just scuff, scuff, scuff. I'm going to do the rest of these very quickly. I can scuff around the edge a little bit more later on as we go, but I'm going to sand these and I will be right back. So I've sanded all my cards. You can see I'm holding them up and you can see that they're scuffed and they're worn. And that worn finish and that little scrapes that you see, that's important because when we ink these, the ink is really going to get in there in those scrapes. So see, we've worn them off quite a bit. All right, so from this step, now we're going to decorate. And so you can ink before you decorate if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and do that just lightly over where we inked. And it's just going to grab the ink where we've sanded. So where we've sanded, it's going to grab that ink and pull it into the card and kind of vintage that up. See how we're instantly getting, and I haven't even re-inked my dauber. The ink just gets right in where you sanded, and that works the same way on everything. So anywhere that you use those sanding discs and then you come in with your ink blender, it instantly goes in those grooves and ages everything up, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful finish. And I like doing the sanding on all different kinds of things, not just greeting cards. Or not just playing cards, sorry. In truth, I do have a terrible migraine that I've had for a couple of days, which is why the videos have been late. I don't know when it will go away, but goodness, it's definitely not making crafting fun. But I am committed to doing a video every day, so here we are. All right, so I'm going to ink these. This will be a little bit longer video because we're going to decorate, but I've inked them up, getting some of the ink in there on the little sanded parts. You can see the sanding and the inking plus just getting that one little layer. Now you could obviously add more layers to your background, like you could mix book page with, you know, something else, music page, whatever. But I just like getting that one layer down there because I want to see the card when we're done. I want to still be able to see it was a playing card. The goal isn't to just completely cover up the playing card and you won't be able to tell it's a playing card. The goal is to alter a playing card where you still see that it's a playing card as a base, but you don't necessarily see the whole entire thing. It's altered. And the sanding and roughing up a new playing card is really helpful in that purpose, or in that project. Oh my gosh. The words sometimes. Okay, so we've sanded this one quite a bit. Now, my ink dauber is really getting low on ink, but there we go. And in truth, I'm going to try to get some of the corners a little bit more on these. So we've got them nicely inked up. Lots of grunginess going on. This little paper wants to tear off, so I'm just going to go ahead and tear it. Ink the edge. There we go. Okay, so we've got that part done. Now we can go ahead and move on to the decorating part of it. And so we're just going to choose some cards and get to work and play with them. The first one I've got, and I did pre-pick out some little things to play with just because I didn't want this to take too long. I use little bits out of here. I use some Anna Griffin flowers, all that kind of stuff. I didn't ink around any of these yet, so I will put them on here and kind of play with them, and then I will stop and ink around. I have a giant label here that I would not be able to fit on there, but I like this little mushroom. So I'm trying to play with this one and get this little mushroom on here so we could get this ticket going up this way. I actually kind of like it better this way, even though it's upside down. We'll get that mushroom up there, and then maybe we'll put a little label on. Now you can still see it's a playing card, so I'm good with that one. So we'll ink that and put that on in just a minute. Let's play with this one next. This guy, I have these little green stamps, and I do plan on adding stamps to the end if we need them. I've got this hydrangea flower. I think this is maybe this is a begonia. I'm not sure what this is. We don't have flowers in Arizona, so I can't really tell you. But there's a flower there, and then I've got a little, if I can pick it up, a little label to go across the bottom. We might do something like that in the end on that one. And then all of these ones, so far I didn't use that. These ones, we've got a variety of things. I found these little green tickets, and I wanted to get those. And this will be the focal point, and maybe we'll get some green tickets in here somewhere. I don't know. This one's still a work in progress, but basically we'll have some green tickets. We'll have a focal point. And then maybe I'll get some of this little border in here. I'm not sure, but there's that one started. And then we've got these ones. Now, one of these ones, we could just do something as simple as this and a label, maybe a postage stamp down there at the end, but something like that. And these are Anna Griffin flowers. Anytime you see these larger flowers, they're Anna Griffin flowers. I've got something similar for this one. It's just a little piece of Tim Holtz ephemera, a purple flower, and then a little label, so something like that. And then this next one, this one has some neutral things on it, and I'm just going to do something like a little flashcard. I've got a little brown ticket that can go in here somewhere, a butterfly, and another little label. Something like that, and we'll keep that one completely neutral. This one here, I don't really know what we were going to put on that one. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe perhaps something else originally went on there. I don't know what, but I do have a little set like this. It's not going to go on this one, but I'll figure it out. And I've got some little purple postage stamps. So you can see with Tim Holtz ephemera, it gives you enough of a start, you know, with all these little pieces. Sometimes it's hard to use all these little pieces. So I'm going to get the arrangement completed, and I'm going to ink around everything, snip off all the excess, and I will be back at the end to show you the finished projects. Okay, so now I have finished them, and I'm going to hold each one of them up so that you guys can see. Hang on, let me get the autofocus going so we can see those better. And so this is what each one of them looks like. It's still a playing card on the back. Like I said, I'm just going to back them on coffee dyed paper, so there'll be coffee dyed paper back there. I might not do it right at this moment because these could also be put on the edge of a page as a little tuck. So you could just actually use the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher if you wanted, and just attach top and bottom, or even just the side, and it would act as a tuck where you could put something in there. So these could actually be tucks, either at the corner, top corner, bottom corner, wherever side. But you could also use them as journal cards if you put coffee dyed paper on the back. So there's those. This was the number 4. I don't know where to hold it where the camera will focus, sorry. And then this one. I know autofocus isn't the best, but with this camera, it's kind of necessary. This camera, in all honesty, is my old camera, and in the new filming studio, I have nice brand new cameras and microphones and all different kinds of technology. I'm just waiting to get the electrician out to redo the circuit panel, the breaker panel, so that I can actually have electricity. So there's those, and we did those today. They're altered playing cards. I hope that you guys get out some playing cards and have fun. Playing cards are kind of an inexpensive thing. You can often get them at the dollar store. And again, it doesn't really matter what the back of them looks like, because you can either use them as tucks or whatever, or cover them up and make them journal cards. So I think they came out pretty cute. I hope that you guys sit down and play with them. And remember the key, you're not going to get the best results without doing the sanding discs. Like if you look right here, this is sanding disc and ink, and it's very different than a brand new shiny playing card. Let me pull one out quick and show you. So if we pull out a brand new shiny playing card, it's very different looking. This doesn't have anything over it. This is just sanded with ink. Then there's tissue paper right over here. So you can kind of see the difference. All right, guys, I will link these in the description box below the video. Thank you and have a great day.